So I read this book, So Good They Can't Ignore You, Why Skills Trump Passion in the Quest for Work You Love. And this is by Carl Newport. And here are my thoughts about it. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura, and if you're new here, this is a place where I talk about productivity, creativity, and personal growth. And I focus mostly on how we can be productive and creative outside of our 9 to 5 jobs in such a way that is not overwhelming or exhausting. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you're notified every single Wednesday when I put out a new video. So this is a really interesting book, and again, sorry, this is upside down. I do take my videos like selfie mode. That's just how I like taking it, so my books are always like upside down or whatever. But again, like I said, this is a really interesting book, and this is one of those books where this is like one of the first books where I really had a lot of thoughts and feelings as I was reading the book. So first I'll give you a summary of the book, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts, which are divided in 3 parts. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what I agree with about the book. The second thing, what I disagree with. And then I will give you my own recommendations based on my experience. So let's get in. But again, do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. So again, the author is called Newport, and it's called So Good They Can't Ignore You. It does challenge the popular advice to follow your passion when you are trying to choose a career. So rather, the author argues that in order for you to find satisfactory work or to find a satisfactory career, what you need to do is focus on developing marketable skills that you can then leverage in order to create a fulfilling work life. So he does suggest that you should focus on developing skills, marketable skills that people are interested in paying for, and then go ahead and use those skills to get work that kind of aligns with your values or with your interests. And he calls this approach the career capital theory, which leads to greater autonomy at work, greater satisfaction, and a more work life that is full of purpose. So according to him, what most people look for when they're looking for a job that they consider a job that I love can be summarized into 3 things, and that is autonomy, relatedness, and competence. And most people who have these 3 things do love their jobs. So what he says is, if you can gather enough career capital, which is enough marketable skills, then you can be able to leverage those skills to get these 3 things, which is what most people look for when they're looking for a job that they love. In a nutshell, what he's saying in the book, or what I did gather from the book, if I were to like kind of summarize it just a little bit, I'll say find a job that you can at least cope with, and then acquire marketable skills, which he calls career capital, through this job, and then leverage those skills in order to get a better position in that job, or in order to get a better job, or in order to make that job something that you love, which usually has to do with competence, relatedness, and autonomy. And as you're doing that, you have to understand that this 100% takes time. Now let's get to what I do agree with about this theory. I do agree that most people who really love their job have one of these 3 things. They do have relatedness, they do have competence, and they do have autonomy, right? Autonomy being really the number one. A lot of people who love their jobs have autonomy, like they have a lot of control. They can control where they work, when they work, and stuff like that. So if you talk to people, you're going to realize that most of the people who have that love their jobs to a greater extent than people who do not have autonomy or competence or relatedness with their jobs. And when he says relatedness, he talks about the people that you work with. That is so important. If you do not love the people you work with, you 100% will not love your job. And then competence talks about your ability to use your own skills, to use what you know and your knowledge and your skills at your job, right? How much value you are at your job, how much value you offer at your job, how valuable you feel you are at the job that you have. The second thing that I do agree with the author, Carl Newport, in this book is the fact that, yes, most people do not really know what they are passionate about early on in their careers. I can attest to the fact that you could grow to love your job, right? Sometimes you can actually start a job and not love it, but as time goes on, you can grow to love your job, or you can grow to love something that you really didn't love before. Your interests do change. So today something might be of interest to you, and tomorrow it's just something that you really do not want to do anymore. Or today this can really be something that you're not interested in, is boring, but tomorrow it's something that you're really interested in. And that I can attest to. Like 2 years ago, social media marketing is something that I was so interested in, right? I do love marketing, yes, but my interests have kind of changed. It's still kind of in that line. It still has a lot to do about communication, talking to people and all, but it's really not social media marketing. That's not really something that I am interested in at the moment, right? At this moment, what I'm really into is productivity, creativity, how to really be able to manage my time within my 9 to 5 job and my creative side hustle. But your interests do change, your passions does change. So it's a lot. Sometimes people take years and years to really understand what it is that they're passionate about. So if you just choose to jump into this one thing that you're passionate about because you've thought about it just for a couple of months, then that can really be misleading for you, and you find yourself in a really tough spot because you really got into something that you thought that you were passionate about, which you really aren't passionate about, like in the long run. Now, the third thing that I do agree with is the fact that yes, follow your passion might be bad advice if your plan is to just quit your 9 to 5 job and jump into following your passion without any plan. Because at that point, what you are hoping for is to get lucky, and getting lucky is not dependable. Now, let's talk about what I do not agree with the author in this book. I do not agree with the fact that follow your passion is bad advice. I know I'm kind of contradicting myself, but yes, it might be bad advice. Like what I said before, I said it might be bad advice if you do not have a plan, but I do not necessarily feel like follow your passion is bad advice altogether, right? So it is more nuanced than that. If there are people who cannot do anything outside of what they're passionate about, right? If we look at the people who are really the great at what they do, if we look at the basketballers, the artists, the musicians, the actors, all of the mostly the artistic world, right? Mostly the world that has to do with a particular kind of skill set. If you look at those people, and you hear their stories or you listen to them, you're gonna realize that a lot of them felt like there is nothing else they can do apart of that. There are some who are gonna be like, there was nothing else. I knew that I couldn't be anything else apart from a footballer. I couldn't be anything else apart from an actor or a musician, right? These are people who gave their all to their passions, right? And I feel like following your passion in that case is wise, is something that you have already realized that I can't do any other thing apart from this, so I'm going to put 110% into this. So for people who are convinced and convicted about their passions, who already know what that is and who feel like there's nothing I can do apart from this, then in my opinion, they can or they should follow their passion. They should put in the effort and the time and build that capital, career capital, right? Whatever it is, to help them get to their goal, to help them actually achieve whatever goal it is that they want to achieve in this particular field. And again, in this same light, following your passion might be the pathway or the process to you actually discovering what you love, right? You might not, or you might be interested in something at this moment, and you trying to do that and cultivate that and explore that might lead you to other things that you feel like, okay, actually I didn't know that I like this, but I really like this. That definitely did happen to me, that applied to me. So me getting into social media marketing, right? Me really getting into marketing and loving that and putting my all into it, I actually started discovering the other parts, the other things that I'm interested in, productivity, creativity. Is because of that. Writing is because of the fact that I was passionate about social media marketing at the time, and I realized that I actually love writing. I love doing videos like this. I got into productivity and creativity, and these are other things that I have been able to explore just because I was able to like follow my passion at the time, which is not something I'm really interested in right now. But because of that, I have gotten to really explore other aspects and other topics and other interests of mine that I really did not feel like were of interest to me, or I did not feel like I could do or I could explore those areas. The second thing I do not agree with the author in this book, So Good They Can't Ignore You, is the fact that he assumes that people do not acquire marketable skills when they do follow their passion, and that is just not true. Because I would dare to say that this is actually the fastest and easiest way for you to really learn and acquire more marketable skills about things that you never ever believed that you could do. If you have a passion and you choose to put in your efforts and put in 110 into that, then yes, I do believe that you will be able to acquire so much knowledge and acquire so many marketable skills that you can then leverage if you choose to maybe go back and get a normal corporate 9 to 5 job. If you choose to follow your passion and put 110 into that, I do believe, out of experience, from my own experience, I know that there are a lot of marketable skills that you will acquire, a lot of valuable marketable skills that you will acquire, that you can 100% leverage that to get a better job. So in my opinion, it's not as follow your passion is bad or follow your passion is good. There is a conversation to be had about that, and there is a lot of thought process for you to put into that before you take whatever step you choose to take. Now, before I share my own recommendation or my own thought process or my impression, please share in the comments, what do you think? What are your thoughts about this? Do you believe that follow your passion is good advice, or do you believe it's bad advice? What do you think about this argument? So now to my own recommendation based on my experience. So first, I'm gonna say I do agree to the sentiments of this book to an extent. Yes, a lot of people do fall into the trap of following their passion, and even when they get into that box of, oh, I'm gonna follow my passion, I'm going to do just this, and they start doing it and they do not see anything come out of it, they already are in that mindset where they feel like, if I don't do just this thing, I'm never ever gonna be fulfilled or happy doing anything else. And that is really a bad way to look at things. That can really put you in a lot of trouble, can really put you in a tough position if you think like that. The truth is, everyone is different. Everyone has a different path to follow. Everyone's journey is different, and everyone has a different set of values or skills to add to society. The truth is, everyone cannot follow their passion, right? Everyone cannot start doing something that they are passionate about at a particular time and succeed at it. However, there are some people who are convicted and convinced that there is nothing that they can do outside of what they're passionate about and be happy. There's nothing else they can do. They can only do this thing that they are passionate about. And those are the people who put in the work, the time, the effort into that and then make it a career. So here's what I think you should do. And I'm talking based from my experience. Now, I'm just going to put this disclaimer out there, right? I am not a career coach. I am not a life coach. I am just an amateur intellectual giving advice, or pretending to be an intellectual giving advice on YouTube, right? So please do not take this advice as gospel truth. It's based from my experience. Your experience might be different and your path might be different from mine. So whether you are following your passion or you are doing a corporate 9 to 5 job that you do not like, your goal should always be to acquire more skills. Your goal should always be to acquire more marketable skills. Because at the end of the day, the more skills you acquire, the more skills you have, the more value you can add, the more you can leverage those skills for a better job or for a better career. And the second thing I'll say is, yes, you should follow your passion if you know 100% what that is, and you are convicted and convinced that you really cannot succeed in anything outside of that. I do not believe that. I believe that you can actually succeed in many things if you choose to. But yes, there are certain things that are really your strong points. They're really your thing, which I do suggest you should find that thing and focus on that. Yes, but if you do not know what that is, give yourself time and grace to kind of discover that, but always have something dependable that you can stand up. Either way, you want to continue to build on these skills, whatever passion it is that you have. You've already figured that out. You want to continue to add to that skills. You want to continue to build your skill, right? And be the best at it, or at least believe that you are the best at it. And lastly, which is my recommendation and which is what most people will probably fall in, go ahead and find a career that you can cope with, and then also follow your passion. Whatever creative part of your life that you want to explore, go ahead and explore that. You can do both, right? You can have a stable 9 to 5 job, because most of the time when they talk about careers, it's just a 9 to 5 job that people do not like. So you can have a stable 9 to 5 job and equally follow your passion, right? And this is what this channel is about, really teaching you and helping you be productive in a way that you can do your 9 to 5 job as well as explore your creativity without it being exhausting or overwhelming. So you can enjoy the best of both worlds, right? Find a job that you love, you can cope with, right? A job that you love, and then stick with that, so you have that to lean on. You are not struggling to pay your bills and live on something that is not dependable. Find that thing that is dependable. Have your 9 to 5 job, have that, stick with that, and then explore the other creative part of your life, your creativity, explore your passions. So enjoy best of both worlds. You can acquire a career capital or acquire marketable skills both from your 9 to 5 job and even your creative life, your creative part from your passion. As you're exploring that, you can apply or acquire marketable skills from both worlds, and you can leverage those skills in order to get a better paying job, in order to get a job that you are more passionate about, get a job that you love. That is 100% possible. I do not believe that you should only focus and do just your 9 to 5 job. I believe that you should have that, but you should also have something else that you can fall on. Be able to explore your creativity and use that in order to build, in order to have something apart from your 9 to 5 job. And that is what we talk about in this channel, how you can do your 9 to 5 job and explore your creativity without it being exhausting or overwhelming, right? Because it's important for you to have that balance. If you're only just focused on your 9 to 5 job, at some point it's going to be so tiring, you're not going to love it anymore, right? But you want to have that balance where you have something else that you're passionate about, that you can do, that you can equally give your time and efforts to, right? Because sometimes too, once your job or your passion becomes your 9 to 5 job, it becomes so tiring and exhausting, and you turn not to love it. So trust me, at the end of the day, you really want to have a balance with this. If you have a 9 to 5 job that you love, that's great, but also try to figure out some other passion of yours, something that you can also fall to, that is going to help you really be more creative and be more productive in different aspects of your life, that all of your efforts and your time is not just on your 9 to 5 job. So those are my thoughts with regards to this book, So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. Now again, do not forget to go to the comment section and give me your own thoughts, what you think about this. I do recommend that you read it. It's a really interesting read. I recommend that you read the book and go ahead and give me your thoughts on that. The link to this book is in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you spending the time to watch this video till the end. And before you go, you want to make sure you watch this video next to learn about the 3 things that I do every single day to help me be more creative as well as more productive. Thanks again for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.